All right, everybody. So, recently, a content creator who I have not really talked about or even really heard about in quite a while came back to the internet to start getting himself involved with the goings-on happening in internet discourse. The content creator in question is LeafyIsHere, right? And I want to tell you guys a story. We're going to go back in time to the year 2015 when I discovered LeafyIsHere, all right? You see, back then, Leafy had started this meme of the hiss. He started the hiss meme. If you were on the internet at the time, if you were on YouTube at the time, and you ever looked at comment sections, you know what I'm talking about. I was watching a lot of YouTube back then, obviously, and I'd scroll into the comment section, and I would just see people spamming hiss, and I didn't know what the meaning of that was. I was like, what? Why is this everywhere now? What is going on? This is clearly, like, originating from a large content creator. Come to find out, the origin of the hiss meme was a content creator named LeafyIsHere. So I checked out his videos, and at the time, the content of Leafy's that I started watching, that I really enjoyed, were the videos where he would tell stories about his time experimenting with certain drugs. You know, being pretty straight edge, you know, I was like, well, I'm not trying any of this crazy shit, so I might as well listen to other people talk about their experience, because that's the closest I'm getting. And so I watched a couple of those videos about, like, trying psychedelics and whatnot, right? And I enjoyed those videos quite a bit, and I distinctively remember a time where I went to swim practice the morning after I discovered, like, a few mornings after I discovered his videos, and telling some of my friends at swim practice about them. And they became Leafy fans as well. And I feel like this story is very relevant to give you an idea of how broad the reach of EdgeTube at that time was. Leafy did, of course, end up falling off to a tier that few other creators can, you know, attest to. Like, it's very hard to fall off as hard as Leafy did. But, of course, at the time, when he was at his peak, he was at quite the peak. He was outright influencing culture among younger, like, Zoomer teens, at least of my, like, age demographic in my generation, very, very strongly. Even people who didn't watch Leafy were being impacted by his sense of humor and his sort of style, because he was sort of affecting an entire era of internet comedy. An era of internet comedy that is now looked back on and has become very divisive. On one end, you've got the people who love EdgeTube, the people who want the internet to go back to being like the Wild West, being able to say whatever you want without any consequences socially, from getting deplatformed, and certainly not legally. They're like very much dedicated to the idea of preserving a no-rules Wild West internet. A lot of people love Leafy and EdgeTube because it's sort of a personification of that desire to maintain that era of the internet. On the other end of things, you've got mostly adults who were at one point in that era, like, in that kind of content, right? They were really into EdgeTube, they were really into, like, Chetty type content, but eventually they grew out of it. They, you know, just kind of grew up and they realized, oh, this is kind of really cringe. Like, taking joy from nothing but the misery and suffering of others is not a great look, right? And those people now look back at EdgeTube as kind of embarrassing and like a cringy mark on their history that they want to wipe clean. And those two groups are now at odds with each other, especially when it comes to situations like someone like iDubbbz, who used to be sort of, as many would say, the king of EdgeTube, now kind of condemning, or just outright condemning, a lot of his older content, has led to a bunch of his old fans and a lot of EdgeTube losing their fucking minds and turning on him in some of the most vitriolic ways you could imagine. Recently, though, LeafyIsHere has returned, and his return has been basically nothing but awful. I won't go into detail because the video we're about to watch does a better job than I could just off the top of my head, but a good friend of mine who's a trans content creator, Jalen, has been the target of a disproportionate amount of LeafyIsHere's harassment. But ironically enough, Jalen's getting more engagement on her tweets dunking on Leafy than Leafy's getting on his Rumble videos and Rumble streams shitting on trans people. Leafy is really, really fallen off. The dude's fucking irrelevant. Apparently the other day, he was showing revenge porn on stream of Destiny's wife. And it wasn't like, oh, he was showing, I don't know the details, but according to Destiny, they weren't like, it wasn't like Leafy was leaking OnlyFans stuff or something like that. He was leaking stuff that wasn't even like public. That's of course awful, but like he was like legit leaking revenge porn. Like without like any shadow of a doubt. Like there's no ambiguity. So yeah. Leafy's a real piece of shit. He's completely fallen off, and his like spiral into irrelevance at this point is basically guaranteed and imminent. And I couldn't be happier. But this video by Jalen is sort of a response to Leafy's deranged transphobia and the attacks he's been levying against her. There will, of course, be a link down below in the description and the pinned comments to the original video, the one that we're reacting to. But I'm just going to let Jalen take it away from here, and I'll give my commentary where I see fit.
I got comedy the first time.
Transgenders are fake.
I get it, dude. Hilarious.
I do not support transgenders.
Second time, I'll give you a pass.
Transgenders are evil and made by Satan.
Third, fourth, and fifth time,
We need a transgender holocaust. Do not become transgender.
you're starting to become a f***ing moron.
God, is Leafy roasting me?
Dude, this person's fast as fuck, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm fast as boy. Thank you.
Dude, I hate this.
It's insane to me that Leafy's jokes and memes haven't grown out of 2016 either. The Keemstar clip where he's like, "I'm fast as fuck, boy! I'm fast as fuck, boy!" And he's like running along that boardwalk in a park. That is like the most 2016 like YouTube meme edit thing ever. His brain is actually frozen in the year 2016. He has not evolved or grown or gone anywhere beyond that point. He's literally a snapshot of a decade ago at this point, almost a decade ago.
That this person has Asian artifacts behind him, dude. He's slandering the Asian people of the world, and that makes me angry, dude.
Dude, that's it? Come on, dude. They're so, like, that's it? He's still doing the, I'm gonna point out the obvious. Oh, man, I can't believe that they got a dresser back here, dude. That's so gay. So yeah, everyone's favorite edgelord LeafyIsHere has returned and has brought the glory of 2016 humor back to the internet, and also Nazis.
Why do you think, like, why are they doing it though? You said that they, are trying to push an open society, but like, what's their end goal with it?
Basically, after World War II, all of the elites in the Western world got together.
Leafy's talking to Nick Fuentes.
And they said, how can we prevent the Holocaust from happening again?
Like that is the dude who was sitting side by side with Kanye West and was telling him what to say about the Jews.
I love that Kanye West has become such a Nazi that to prove Nick Fuentes is a Nazi, you say he's friends with Kanye West. What a reality we live in, dude. Like, yeah, Nick Fuentes, oh, you know that guy's a Nazi. He's friends with Kanye. How the turntables.
I really didn't think Leafy could fall any further, but somehow he has. So with iDubbbz's recent apology and removal of his Content Cop series, I think one stands out now in particular more than any other, and that is the Leafy Content Cop. You see, back in 2016, Leafy was pretty much dominating the internet. Every single 14-year-old.
Dude, and his type of content, oh my god. It opened my eyes to how easy it is to blow up on YouTube. It opened my eyes to the fact that there are two types of content creators, right? Those that put in a shit ton of effort into making like one video a month, maybe a few videos a year, and rely entirely on like audience support because YouTube will pay them nothing, or those that overwhelm the algorithm with a large volume of content and get by that way. You either upload like 4 or 5 times a year, or you upload like once a day or more. There's no in-between. Because if you're doing that in-between, you're not making enough from ad revenue, and you're probably not making videos that are high enough production quality that people are going to Patreon sub to you for long periods to support your content. So he would just like record a bunch of CS:GO surfing footage and talk over it with no editing. The thing is, though, well, I guess there would be minimal editing, but it was worse than a live stream response. I went back and I've watched some re-uploads like maybe a year ago of Leafy's old content, and it was worse quality than most live stream responses you could watch, despite it being edited and lightly scripted, I'm sure. His thoughts were still more poorly put together, and he made less compelling arguments than somebody who's talking completely off the cuff without a hint of editing. So yeah, it was just, he was very able to just bust out like 2 or 3 videos a day. I think he was uploading 2 a day, and he just dominated the algorithm. He blew the fuck up. He was big.
Was watching this guy. They thought he was hilarious, all right? This guy was the shit. And he pretty much pioneered the entire commentary genre and made way for any edgy 14-year-old to have a voice on YouTube.
And this is a big issue with today's all girls. Now imagine if the roles were reversed. The person that did this, the guy that did this would be cancelled.
Yeah, to say the least, let's just say he ruined an entire generation of kids. He was like the Sneeko, Aiden Ross, iShowSpeed of 2016's generation. And the iDubbbz Content Cop was the first bit of content that truly pierced Leafy's armor. You see, every other YouTube bully could not match.
It was the kill shot. For that time, like, Leafy didn't come back to the internet until, like, 2020, when the iDubbbz hate started. iDubbbz destroyed Leafy so thoroughly, Leafy left the internet and didn't come back until, coincidentally enough, the internet hated iDubbbz because of his wife. He literally had to wait until his, like, nemesis who destroyed him was no longer well-liked for him to return, because people accepted Leafy just to spite iDubbbz.
Match Leafy, but iDubbbz was a whole different breed, because iDubbbz was willing to say and do whatever. He didn't have a limit. He didn't care, and he was able to show that Leafy was an insecure little loser, and that his content was just garbage. Like, there was nothing there. It was just awful dog shit content, and his criticisms of Leafy's content still apply to this day, and in fact, I would say he's gotten even worse.
Leafy is horrible at criticizing people. I don't know if it's because he tries to make a video every day, or if he's just that awful.
I think, dude, what the f happened to this guy? What is his hair, dude? What is the mustache? What is the...
The crazy thing as well is that Leafy's commentary hasn't evolved at all. He still does the thing where his entire humor is pausing and then saying, dude, what the fuck like, what is this thing about his appearance? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, literally, like, what the fuck, dude? He's actually become a more flanderized version of himself. I feel like he's become more of a caricature of what people memed him to be back in the day. Like, he's become that caricature now. That impression was so good. It was not a good impression. I think you guys are deranged. You just tell me I have good impressions when I absolutely don't. And I appreciate it. You guys are gassing me up, but I am certain that was not a good impression. Yeah, the chinless one has returned.
tattoos? It's like straight up a different person, dude.
Now imagine that, but for 3 hours a day. Recently, he returned to Twitter by saying the N-word because that's really based and edgy. And I guess that tweet was...
Oh my god, guys, he said the N-word. Isn't that fucking hilarious? Oh my god. He's so funny because he's white and he said the N-word. Holy shit. And he said it with the soft A. Holy fuck. So edgy, so cool. Oh my god. Whoa, he's back. Leafy's edginess is back, bro. Whoa. Vosh said it with the hard R. Yeah. True. Yeah, actually true. Leafy is too scared to go that far.
like, it was just golden. Okay, for some reason, Rumble saw that and they were like, get this guy a contract. Let's get this guy on Rumble, dude. He gets like 1,000 live views.
Unironically, unironically, I hope that I hope Destiny actually goes through with getting Leafy's Rumble account just and contract destroyed. Even though Leafy has nothing going for him on Rumble, like he's just slowly pittering out to nothing. And that's what happens when you've got no like ability to reach platforms with any discoverability. It's just a long, slow dying out as a content creator. So I would still love to see Destiny get Leafy's contract pulled and get him banned off the site, particularly for the revenge porn shit. Honestly, I feel like they could press charges, like Destiny and Melina press charges on Leafy. That would absolutely be I don't remember like the exact, I don't know the exact like scenario that came up with it, if he like showed it maliciously or if someone in chat linked it and he opened it. But if he like showed it maliciously and they could prove that in court, then I hope they sue. If it was like, oh, he clicked a link and it was an Aiden Ross moment, then definitely they could probably get him taken down, but I don't know if they could sue. Uncritical support for Destiny in his fight against Leafy, absolutely.
Viewers, which is decent. Okay, I would love 1,000 live viewers, but he apparently got paid like $2 million. Imagine pig, $2 million for 1,000 viewers. And so, you know, naturally,
never mind, maybe Rumble's not gonna be anywhere. Like, Rumble might not exist in a year. Fuck. Oh no. Yeah, Rumble's not a very successful platform, and whew. Ugh, that's a big contract. That is not a good business decision. I bet it was purely crypto too. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't think Rumble's that successful either. Have they gotten successful yet? Like, have they started making any profit? Because I feel like at this stage they've still got to be putting so much, because it's a newer site. They've still got to be putting so much work into making the site and upholding it and patching it and whatnot. And also getting streamers on board. There's no way they're making profit. Probably all right-wing dark money, TBH. No, I don't think Rumble is like a conservative. Well, yeah, actually, it probably is conservative. I don't know who runs Rumble. Yeah, I know it's just a bunch of right-wing garbage for the most part, but I don't know who runs it. I think it's like gambling site shit. Another crypto crash coming? Love that. Love that. I love hearing about crypto crashes. For God's sakes, get your money out of the crypto market if you still have any in there.
The type of people that are on Rumble tend to lean to a certain side of the political spectrum. Leafy would learn to appeal to the only audience that still thinks he's funny. 14-year-old Nazis. Those still exist, and I honestly think they're worse than in 2016. Like Sneeko, Aiden Ross, Andrew Tate have really given rise to these type of people. And so he started appealing to them by just constantly tweeting about trans people, like every day. Like, that's his content. He'll just play a video of a trans person and just say edgy shit, but in the most unfunny, boring way imaginable.
No, I don't want an apology. I want an apology for him deciding to become transgender.
For anyone who doesn't know, Drama Alert is run by part-time trans ally DJ Daniel Keemstar.
Wait, Keemstar supports trans?
Live from Buffalo, New York, you're watching the Keemstar Show.
Keem is on their side. Dude, I gotta cut ties with Keemstar, and I gotta message him right now.
And it's just such blatant, like...
That's a good clip. That's a good fucking clip. And the funniest thing, too, is Leafy and Keemstar fucking hated each other back in the day. Like, Leafy being nice or friends with Keemstar is the biggest bitch move ever. He basically bent over and let Keemstar just have his little cheeks in like the internet drama sphere sense. He just totally like, because they hated each other. They were nonstop shit talking and like at each other's throats, and Leafy's just totally because Keem's like kinda, he's really big in that sphere. So Leafy just presented for Keem. Yeah, no chin, no spine.
grifting. He obviously doesn't care about any of what he's saying. He doesn't care about like spreading any sort of morality or fighting for any sort of cause. He's just...
Does Keemstar actually support trans folks? I don't think Keemstar's like a trans ally, but like he's certainly got trans friends and peers and seems to treat them with respect and gender them correctly and whatnot. Like I don't think if I asked him like to explain why trans people are valid, he'd be able to, but yeah, his politics are all over the place. It's very hard to nail down Keem's politics. He posted a video claiming the election was stolen. Like he posted multiple videos claiming the election was stolen from Trump. His politics are all over.
There to say whatever makes him the most money, which is why someone who's more serious into political commentary and actually debating people on serious issues by the name of Destiny, who's one of the most infamous figures in this sort of political...
Okay. I have a funny story to tell you guys, because I met Destiny in real life once, and it was when my blonde hair was like... I had my dark brown hair roots growing in, and my blonde hair was like the tips. And I was in Texas, and I met Destiny in person, and he said, "No offense, dude, but I fucking hate your hair how it is right now. With, like, the roots." And I was like, really? The ladies like it, and that's all I really care about. But bro's got his roots coming in now. He's got them blue frosted tips now.
Issues by the name of Destiny, who's one of the most infamous figures in this sort of political sphere, would deny multiple of Leafy's demands to debate him. And let's just say that this was a pretty good idea, because a few days after like he denied that, Leafy would go on stream and leak Destiny's girlfriend's nudes. Yeah, he would pull an Aiden Ross, and obviously Destiny was not happy about that.
Why do you hate him so much?
This is the clip that I saw, yeah.
The guy was like, I didn't want to do any kind of with him initially, just because he's like fallen off and I don't care, whatever. And he does like the edgiest shit possible. The guy was on, I thought about contacting my Rumble dude to get him permabanned from fucking Rumble. Actually, you know what? If he has a contract with Rumble, I might look into those streams and I might actually pull with Chris and see if I can't get him revoked.
And it looks like...
Yeah, so that's the clip that I saw on Twitter, where Destiny's talking about getting Leafy's shit revoked. Yeah. Full uncritical support for Destiny going against Leafy on this. I hope he does get his contract taken down. For the revenge porn thing alone, it would be justified, but, you know, on top of all the other shit, you know, it'd just be a dub.
At this point, Leafy's gotten multiple strikes on Rumble. Like, they may potentially remove him from the platform and take away his multi-million-dollar deal. And it's just for, like, no reason. There is no logic behind it. It's because this dude is not intelligent. I mean, when even Rumble is removing your content for violating guidelines, maybe, just maybe, you should take a step back and, like, chill the F out. He's broken, like, every single unspoken commentary rule. You know, this was a thing that was kind of established. It's been established since 2016. There are certain...
Yeah, like, even if you are a Nazi and it's obvious in the commentary community, you're supposed to keep the mask on to a degree, right? Because the EdgeTube sphere is a mix of people who aren't actually Nazis that just find cruelty and bigotry to be the funniest shit ever, and people who are actually Nazis using that type of humor and that type of person as a shield against, like, criticism and, like, being recognized as what they are. And so when you've got someone like Leafy who's so prominent going this mask off, it takes away a lot of the plausible deniability of other people in that sphere who use that label to defend themselves or kind of cover themselves for the actual bigotry that they believe in, right? So, like, Leafy is sort of a representative of EdgeTube, and acting like this is basically just, you know, revealing the game. Like, it's pretty much nothing but punching down. Like, here's the thing. If your humor is genuinely just all you can find funny is, like, punching down at minorities and stuff, and that's what a lot of these people are, then, like, very cringe, but like, you can't argue someone out of that. That's what they find funny. You can only hope they'll grow out of it. It's the people who genuinely believe horrible shit, but use the fact that saying the most awful, bigoted shit that you can think of is like a type of humor online as a shield. They're Schrodinger's douchebags. They're, like, whether or not they're joking about the Holocaust thing they're talking about is determined by the reaction they get. When they say, oh, we should do a Holocaust for transgenders, if they get a bunch of people saying based, true, W, then they were serious. If they see a bunch of people going, what the fuck, then it was an edgy joke. And they'll backpedal it.
And lines, even as a commentary channel, that you do not cross.
These people saying that they're scared and it's so sad, they're making it out like the Holocaust is coming for transgender people. And you know what? I think it should happen. I think there should be a transgender Holocaust. I think we need to round them all up, right, like cattle, into a big, like...
And you'll see, based on how the chat responds, is whether or not what he's saying right now is a joke.
Area, a big farmland area, and then just burn them all.
Like, any one of these clips would have gotten Leafy sniped instantly, even back in 2016. He also recently made a stream talking about the trans commentary YouTuber Keffels, where he reacts to a video where she talks about her addiction and, like, very serious things that happened in her life to, like, lead to her addiction and her father dying, and Leafy just makes fun of that, tries to make that into a joke, and it's just the cringiest thing ever. Like, it's not funny. It's just really painful to watch, because you know he's trying his damned hardest to be funny, but he's just not funny.
But even so, a lot of the shit he said is...
What's the craziest thing about it as well is what got Leafy canceled, I guess you could say, originally, was that iDubbbz pointed out that his humor and his jokes weren't just punching down in, like, a socio-political sense. He was punching down in a more broadly unacceptable sense at particularly children and people who, like, genuinely had mental disabilities and stuff. There was a video he made where he went hard on somebody that recorded a video in, like, a shopping mall and, like, referred to that person by the R slur, like, several times, like, kept calling him retarded. And then, as it turns out, that guy actually was neurodivergent. And people were not happy at Leafy about that. Because contrary to what you might believe, most people don't use the R slur to like, refer to something as being mentally disabled. They just mean it as, like, a meaner way of saying stupid. And so people at the time, even with an edge tube, were not happy with Leafy using that word to describe somebody who's actually neurodivergent. And then on top of that, Leafy had this penchant for attacking children. He made a lot of videos notably attacking the appearance of small children, like 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. He would, like, find their videos on like, I think it was Musical.ly at the time, and, like, attack their appearance. And then the funniest part was, at the end of all of that, the big cherry on top is Leafy no chin. The base of most of the guy's, like, attacks and humor are attacking people's appearance. And he's got no fucking chin. And not only did he have no chin, but there was a lot of evidence, especially in pictures and stuff, of him, like covering his, like, lower face with his mic or with his mouth in pictures or whatever. He was very clearly, like, subconsciously hiding his chin in, like, a disproportionate amount of videos and photos and all that kind of stuff. And so it became clear that not only does he have a tiny chin, or no chin, but he's insecure about it. And everybody realized all of his rudeness, all of his meanness, his humor, his like, desire to attack people for their appearance, notably, comes from his own insecurity. And a lot of people stopped respecting him. He stopped uploading for years. He disappeared.
Genuinely completely unhinged. Like the way that he reacted to me talking about planning to take my own life, saying I should try harder.
So many people, dude, I tried to kill myself. Well, what went wrong? I should have tried harder.
Or what he said when I talked about watching my father being taken off life support. I got to be there to witness him suffocate to death. And it's still something that I
This person's just fake, dude.
have nightmares about.
Fake woman, fake fucking dude. They have no dick. It's just fake.
And again, remember, this is over a Twitter ratio.
I am honestly just embarrassed that I thought this dude was funny. I thought this dude was the peak of YouTube commentary. I thought that.
It really is wild how much just living your life and meeting more people and getting to, like, just grow up and mature as an adult. It's not just becoming an adult. It's living for, like, a while as an adult that really grows maturity, I think. Like, it's not the growth process to the point of becoming an adult. It's the time that you spend for the first few years of being an adult. Like, people consider you an adult. People treat you like an adult. You have the responsibilities of an adult. That is what makes you an adult, right? And it's so wild how pre those experiences, people are just incapable of recognizing certain things. Like, there are so many young Zoomers that are so married to this edgy, like, humor shit to the extent that it is their entire personality. And some of them are, like, in their usually early 20s, right? The ones in their 30s are, like... the ones in their 30s are, like, either as successful as Sam Hyde or the biggest losers you can possibly imagine. And so you get, like... You get this issue where it's, like, this person you know is probably going to grow out of this shit and regret what they believe now, but nothing you can say to them now. Nothing you can argue with them about now, nothing you can show them now or expose them to now will change their personality and what they're into right now. Like, they just have to grow up and grow out of it in a lot of cases. A lot of growing into adulthood is growing more secure too. Leafy's fan base were usually middle schoolers at peak insecurity. That is also a big part of it. Yeah. I was in my last year of middle school and first year of high school when I was really into Leafy's content.
For many years. And now it's like, what did I even see in this guy? He's just unfunny, unoriginal, bland, insecure. Anyway, yeah, Leafy, you're probably watching this video because I know you're desperate for content.
You will.
Thanks for the views. Thanks for the ad revenue. Shit's down for me. My last video made $5. $5, man. I remember when I was making like 10K a month.
Go watch Jalen's video. Go subscribe. Go send a like. Go comment. Go watch the video. Go send support. YouTube's rough. And being a lefty content creator makes it even rougher because not only is there less general market for content surrounding that political sphere, but you're also constantly getting harassed by other lefties and the Nazis and transphobes and stuff. So yeah, send some support, please. That was a very good video, and I really did like it. Jalen makes good content.